Okay. Born in the NHS. I was born in the NHS. Right, yeah, I thought I'd just ruin your ears this Monday, the 17th of March, with that. So, there you go. I was born in an NHS hospital in Manchester. I'll probably die in a Globe Corp Cyberdyne hospital somewhere, and have all my assets sold to pay for it, or maybe it'll be a Cameron Corp hospital or a Hunt Corp hospital. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? They'll probably sell my clothes and the shirt on my back to pay for the hole they put me in the ground. This is another post about your NHS, your lovely NHS, the National Health Service, which is crumbling before our very eyes right now, and that is why you have to listen to what I'm saying. So it's very important. There's three things I want to tell you today about this, about the NHS, pieces of news. Some of them are a couple of days old, it's not important, but I'm kind of pulling it all together for you, kind of giving you a roundup. One of the first things that I just want to mention is I spotted a tweet from a guy called Eoin Clarke, who's one of the leading bloggers on NHS privatisation in the country. He tweeted a quick link, and I was just blown away by it, and basically said that the NHS is disappearing at a rate that's just impossibly fast. Now, I looked at the links and I was just blown away, and I just want to share with you. So there were 4 links in there basically, and there were tenders offering out chunks of the NHS worth literally billions of your pounds. You look at your payslip and there's a bit where it says the tax. Now that money goes into the government, the Treasury, and then it goes into the private healthcare, and then it goes into the pockets of Tory donors. So you want to think about that when if you're thinking about being dismissive or think this doesn't affect you, it affects you quite directly. Anyway, so I just want to quickly mention these. So I just checked this out. I might post this so you can see it yourself. But I'll certainly post the links down at the bottom of this video. But basically, hey, I've got end of life care. £500 million contract, 10-year contract to run that in East Midlands greater area, Cannock Chase, and then there's another one here, transforming cancer care, 700, basically just short of £700 million. So the first one was £500 million. This one is 700 million. So same area, obviously cancer care. So these are huge contracts for hundreds of millions of pounds of your money, and no one's mentioning it. Literally, the BBC are not mentioning that these used to be, public sector and now the private sector. BBC is not mentioning it. That's a lot of money, and it's a scorched earth policy. That's how I see it. So basically the Tories are trying to sell off as much of the NHS as humanly possible before next year. We're in 2014 now, in March. They want to sell as much as they can to their friends before next year comes around. That's kind of the first point, is that billions of pounds of contracts are being sold. I just mentioned there, scorched earth policy. I do genuinely think that if you look at Jeremy Hunt or David Cameron, they know, right? I really strongly believe that they know in their minds what they're doing is morally wrong. They know that they're selling off the NHS to their friends, and they're trying to get away with it. They know this. It's not. It's somewhere in their head. If you see Jeremy Hunt on TV defending the NHS privatisations, he knows that what he's doing is wrong. I guarantee you that in his head he does. 3 months before he became Health Secretary, he was given a £3,000 contribution by an American hedge fund manager who has £200 million worth of stocks and shares or whatever, interests in private healthcare. His sister-in-law is Virginia Bottomley, who was the previous health secretary. I might be wrong on this, but I believe that she has some connection to Bupa. Might want to check that. But I know for a fact that his dad was the head of an NHS trust in Surrey, which is nice, isn't it? So this man has a lot of links to to healthcare and so on. So, he is genuinely dishonest, 100% dishonest. There's two more things I want to mention before I get onto that. The BBC has been completely complicit in covering up what I've just told you, that billions of pounds of contracts are being sold off. There's a great study by a guy, let me just quickly find this, guy from Open Democracy, anyway, there it is, Oliver Hudson, and he's written this awesome report which basically said how the BBC betrayed the NHS. The BBC have routinely covered up NHS privatisation. They presented it as something positive. They've done everything they can to deride it, and it's really profoundly disappointing. I get angry every day when I hear BBC reports basically just making out that everything's fine and dandy with the NHS whilst it's actually crumbling before our eyes. I'll post the link for that Open Democracy report for you, but what's happening right now to the NHS couldn't happen without a certain amount of cultural hypnosis, celebrity culture being pumped into your brain, and distraction, and mass media sort of manipulation, really. So there's a mass act of theft going on right in front of us of this massive institution. Billions of pounds are being robbed out of it, and it's being done by people who are right in your face. Jeremy Hunt and David Cameron, they know they're doing the theft, and the only way that can happen is with major media institutions like the BBC and the Mail working to just pump your brain with just cultural hypnosis, The Voice or whatever it is, I'm a Celebrity, all this other stuff, just kind of keep your brain pumping with this shit while you're being robbed and someone's actually got their hand in your back pocket. And that's why it's important to find out, that's why I'm doing this right now, trying to find alternative media sources to get the information out there to people. I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. Anyway, there's two more things I want to mention here which kind of simply reinforce the point. The head of the CQC, the clinical, what is it? Such a tongue twister. The Care Quality Commission. So this is the body that was created by the Health and Social Care Act that basically runs the tendering out of contracts. The guy who runs that is a Tory MP. That's a surprise. Well, he's a former Tory MP, and that's no surprise because he's there to privatise the NHS. That is his job. He could give some of the money to publicly run units and services with the NHS, but he wants to shove all the money over to chums of the Tory party. Now, he's gone on record just recently saying that what he wants is for failing NHS trusts to be taken over by American corporations and European corporations. So the Tory party is starving the NHS of cash artificially and then saying, oh look, it's broke, we need to fix it. What I know what we'll do, my mate over here who runs this corporation will come in and they'll fix everything magically, and that's how it works. It's my friend over here. So that's what's happening. They're starving the NHS of cash and then saying, look, we need private corporations to come in. They're running it down deliberately, and there's no clearer evidence of that than the head of the person responsible for tendering the NHS coming in saying that that's what he wants to do. It reinforces this idea that billions upon billions of taxpayers' money, your money, that hard-working money, is being diverted away to American corporations or European corporations or just anybody with money who's rich. It also sort of puts pay to the lie that British kind of Tory MPs are always so patriotic, old chap. I'm very British. But they'll be the first to get down on their knees and pop something in their mouth if it's, Chinese money or African money or American money. They don't care about British, old chap, I'm British. They just want the money. So when it comes to American money or European money, in this case, if they want to queue up for that stuff, they're not interested in you. Yeah. Forget about nationalism or all the other things that used to appeal to you. It's just manipulation. That's all it is. Finally, this happened last week, and you probably know about this, but it's worth reminding you that Jeremy Hunt forced through a law, an insertion into the Health and Social Care Act, clause 119, which allows him to close any hospital at any time. Now, the needs of an area, a district, a place, and its healthcare should be decided by human values. Do the doctors say that there's a need for this hospital? So let's listen to them. Let's listen to the patient groups. Let's listen to the local community. That's sort of democracy and localism in action. But the Tory party aren't interested in that. They're interested in the money. So if consultants say, or the money men say, let's close this down, then they'll just do it. And they don't want to listen to anybody. And now this law gives Jeremy Hunt the right to do that. So he created this law in response to the fight back against the closure or the downgrading of Lewisham Hospital in London. The courts decided that what he did was illegal by trying to downgrade it, and there was a massive campaign by local people in the community in Lewisham to keep it open, because it was serving a real need in that community. There's a desperate need in Lewisham to keep that hospital and its A&E department open, and he didn't care about that because it's about the money. It's about the money, ladies and gentlemen. So now he's got his way. He's changed the law after the fact, so he can do what he wants wherever he wants. I think they're going to keep Lewisham open because there was such a fuss, and the negative publicity made him step back from downgrading that particular hospital, I believe. Which shows, so that's my final point basically. So there's a bunch of links below this video. I've rambled a bit, but this is important stuff. Follow Eoin Clarke on Twitter. Read the links, read his blog, really important. Check out that Upper Democracy report. Check out the news story on Jeremy Hunt and the news story on David Pryor, the head of the CQC. Read all that stuff, pass it on. I'm not feeling particularly charismatic today anyway, but the point is, this video is not about me. It's about this message of trying to fight back against the privatisation of the NHS. So please pass it on, pass the links on, read them, distribute them, get the message out there. Knowledge is power, and we have to fight for this. They're not going to let us, have it voluntarily. People like Jeremy Hunt and David Cameron are completely dishonest and completely untrustworthy, and they will do any kind of dirty tricks they can to get their hands on your money. They have no principles or no morals whatsoever, and neither do people in the media institutions around them, which is why I'm doing this right now. And that's why you have to fight. You have to fight by passing this information out to people, keeping it in circulation, keep talking about it. As I said, going back to Lewisham Hospital, when we kick up enough of a fuss about things, the Tories do step back. They have this massive media machine on their side in the form of the BBC and the Daily Mail to help them, and that's why it's so incredibly hard, right, to fight for things like the NHS. But we have to keep on doing it. So I'll really implore you to keep yourself informed on this stuff. I know that a lot of people are very apathetic about it. They think it doesn't affect them, but believe me, it does. It really, really does. One day you're going to need a hospital. If you're perfectly healthy now, you're going to need one, and the quality of care provided by private companies is going to reduce the quality of the NHS. That's the point of it. Private companies exist to make money. They don't exist to help the health of people. They are not interested. You are not their point of concern. Their concern is to their shareholders and to extracting profit out of these billions of pounds of contracts that they've got. And that is why privatisation is the wrong option for the NHS, and that's why you have to join me in fighting against it. So please distribute these links out to people and keep the conversation going. Thanks.